when I said that, she was like, I'm gonna beat your ass. What's good, y'all? It's your girl J Rebel, and as you can see by the title, today's video is gonna be a story time. Yes, and today's story time is gonna be about my crazy ass roommate, child. Whew. Yes. So if it seems like I'm whispering, I kind of am, because my voice is naturally, you know, loud, and it projects. And my family's downstairs right now, so I'm not trying to be too loud and disturb them. So if it seems like I'm whispering, I kind of am. I'm just letting y'all know. But anyway, let's just get into it. So I graduated from high school in 2009. I was supposed to start college that same year, but so the college that I was supposed to go to that same year was DSU. Shout out to everybody. Shout out to all my fellow DSU alumni. And shout out to everybody who goes to a HBCU, either, you know, whether you still attending or whether you graduated, you know, Black excellence. We love to see it. I tried to go to DSU that same year, but they told me it was something with my grades. It was either my grades or my SAT score wasn't high enough. I'm pretty sure it was my SAT score, because I ain't gonna lie, y'all, I did not study for that test. I did not study for that test, because I ain't even gonna hold y'all. Like, I hated school. I really did. Like, I hated studying, I hated doing homework, and I hated just having to get up early in the morning to catch the bus, because I was not a morning person back then, and I still am not a morning person now. So since my score wasn't up to par or whatever, they told me what I could do is, they said you can go to a community college for a year, get a certain amount of credits over there, and then transfer here. So that's what I did. So I started my freshman year at DSU, Delaware State University, in 2010, so the following year. And I remember it was moving day, you know, it was all just a new experience for me, because I had never lived away from home. This was my first time living away from home, and this was my first time living with somebody that I didn't even know, you know what I'm saying, living with a random stranger. So I remember moving all of my stuff into the dorm, and I remember meeting my roommate. So, you know, at first she seemed real sweet, real nice and all of that, you know, so I thought. Now, mind y'all, during this time, I was in a relationship. You know, I had me a little boyfriend or whatever. And just a quick little backstory on him. So, my boyfriend at the time, he actually used to go to that school the year prior, but he ended up getting kicked out for selling drugs, y'all. The ghetto. I know. So he got kicked out, and he actually got banned from the school. Yes, child, the boy got banned for life. So the school actually had his picture around the campus to let people know, like, if you see this boy, just know he is not supposed to be here, okay? But even though he wasn't supposed to be, you know, even though he wasn't allowed on campus, I didn't care, because, you know, that was still my boyfriend, and I still wanted to see him, and couldn't nobody tell me nothing. So I would still have him come on campus to see me, and I would have him in my dorm room, and we would be chilling, you know, spending time together or whatever. You know, of course, him and my roommate, you know, I introduced them, and, you know, my boyfriend, he was very nice to her, very respectful. Like, there was never no tension between them or whatever, none of that. So all of a sudden, one day, she's like, I don't feel comfortable with your boyfriend being in the room. And I'm like, okay, you know, like, why not? Like, did he say something, or did he do something that made you feel uncomfortable? Like, what's going on? Or, you know, I'm thinking, you know, maybe she's had some trauma in the past, you know, with a man, you know, past sexual trauma or something like that. So because of that, she doesn't feel comfortable being in close proximity with men. You know what I'm saying? So she was like, no, I just don't feel comfortable with him being in the room because he used to stalk me, and I feel like he's obsessed with me because he used to stand outside my dorm window and scream my name, begging me to come outside. And I'm just like,
what? Bro, what are you talking about, man?
I'm thinking to myself, like, girl, like, you sound crazy. Like, what? So, but of course I couldn't just, you know, sit there and call her a liar, because at the end of the day, I wasn't there, so I don't know if it was true or not. You know what I'm saying? I could only go by what she told me. And for all I know, yeah, maybe her and my boyfriend did cross paths one day, and, you know, the exchange they had with each other wasn't so nice. You know what I'm saying? Who am I to say? I'm like, okay, you know, I had to just take it for what it was. So I was like, okay, you know, if you don't feel comfortable with him being in the room, I'll let him know and I won't have him in the room. And that was that. So of course I let my I talked about it with my boyfriend, and I asked him, I'm like, my roommate is saying that you stalked her, like what's going on? And he was like, no, I ain't stalked that girl. What is she talking about? I didn't even know who she was until you introduced me to her. You introduced me to her as your roommate. That bitch is crazy. So I'm like, well, regardless if you stalked the bitch or not, she's saying she don't feel comfortable with you being in the room. So if that's the case, you know, I gotta respect that. You know what I'm saying? Because at the end of the day, it's not just my room, it's her room too. So if she's telling me she don't feel comfortable with him being in the room, then, you know, I have to be considerate of her feelings or whatever. So I told him, you know, she don't want you in the room, babe. You can't be in there no more. And of course he felt, you know, of course he got upset about that, but at the end of the day, it is what it is. You know what I'm saying? So there was this one night, I was talking on the phone with my boyfriend, right? And, you know, we was just talking to each other, asking each other about how our days was or whatever. He was asking me about my day, I was asking about his day. And then at one point he started asking me about my roommate. He was asking me like how me and her were getting along. And I was like, you know, everything's fine for the most part, even though she was kind of low-key getting on my nerves or whatever, but for the most part, like, everything was cool. So I forgot what he asked me. He had asked me some question about her. I don't remember what it was, but it was something along the lines of like, you know, if you did this or if you did that, how do you think your roommate would react? Like, what do you think she would do? And I was like, man, she wouldn't do that. I don't think she would do that. Or she ain't gonna do nothing, blah, 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 blah. And mind you, my roommate was in the room while I was talking on the phone with my boyfriend. And I ain't gonna hold y'all. Like, low-key, I was talking shit on the phone. I was talking shit. So, all of a sudden, she's like, are you talking about me? And I was like, yeah. Cause what was I gonna lie for? Like, yeah, I'm talking shit. Like, cause if I'm gonna talk shit, like, I'ma stand in it and be like, yeah, I was talking about you, and like, I said what I said.
Who gonna check me, boo?
Cause y'all, back then I did not care about nothing. Like, if I wanted to talk shit, I was gonna talk shit whether you was in my face or not. Like, I did not care back then. I did not. So when I said that, she was like, I'm gonna beat your ass. So I was laying on my bed, right? When she said that, I got up so quick. I was like, oh bitch, you ain't about to touch me. You ain't about to touch me. I said, unless you want to get your head knocked off, you're not about to touch me. You ain't about to touch me. So all of a sudden, she goes into her drawer, because she had a drawer next to her bed, right? So she reaches into her drawer and she pulls out a pair of scissors. So I'm looking like, what's she about to do with those? So She takes the scissors and then she walks over to the TV that we had in our room. And mind you, the TV we had in our room was mine. So she walks over to like the cable wire that's connected to the TV, and she holds the scissors up to the wire, acting like she's about to cut the wire. So I walk over and I push her hand out the way, like, see, that's what we not about to do. I was like, I don't care how mad you are at me, what you not gonna do is touch my stuff. Like, I was like, I don't care how mad you are at me, if you wanna fight, we could fight. It's whatever, but what you're not gonna do is touch my stuff. I don't care. Like, at the end of the day, I'm not disrespecting your stuff, so don't disrespect my stuff, period. I had pushed her hand out the way, and even when I pushed her hand out the way, she still ain't do nothing. That hoe still ain't do nothing, cause she wasn't about it. She wasn't about nothing. She wasn't about it.
You know he body Jim Jones. You know he body.
So yeah, when I pushed her head out the way and she didn't do nothing, at that moment, that's when I knew, like, all that tough talk she was doing, talking about she gonna beat my ass, I knew that was all for show. I knew it was all for show. Cause sis, if you really wanted to beat my ass, we would have been fighting right now. We would have already been fighting. I don't know, maybe she had the same thoughts in her head that I had in my head, because I was like, I'm not gonna put my hands on this girl first so that way I could look like the aggressor. I was like, nah, I'm gonna just have her come at me so that way when the school staff questions us about what happened, I could be like, well, look, she came at me first and I just fought back in self-defense. You feel? And honestly, like, I was not trying to fight this girl. I was not trying to fight her, because at the end of the day, we would have just been fighting over some petty shit. And I wasn't about to risk possibly getting kicked out of school over some petty stuff. You know what I'm saying? So at this point, I'm like, let me just go ahead and get the RA. Let me just get the RA, because this girl is crazy. And honestly, I didn't feel safe being in that room with her, because for all I know, she was probably gonna take those scissors and slit my throat in the middle of the night while I'm sleeping, for all I know. You know what I'm saying? So I went down the hall. I went to go get the RA, and I'm like, y'all better come get this girl. Y'all better come get her, cause she crazy. She in here threatening me, and she in here threatening to ruin my stuff. Y'all better come get her. The RA came and she was questioning me and she was questioning the girl, and basically they decided to separate us. So they decided to move me into a whole nother dorm. And so when I had went out the room to get the RA and I came back, I noticed that my phone wasn't sitting on the bed. So I'm like, and mind you, I was on the phone. Mind you, I was like, before I had went out the room to get the RA, I was on the phone with my boyfriend the whole time, y'all. And he was on he was on the phone, like, trying to get me all riled up, like egging me on, talking about, babe, you better not let that bitch talk shit to you. You better beat that bitch up. But I wasn't paying him no mind, though. I was not paying him no mind, because I'm like, I'm not about to get kicked out of school over some petty shit. Like, I'm just not. It just wasn't worth it to me. So when I had left out the room, when I had left out the room to go talk to the RA, and then I came back into the room, I noticed that my phone wasn't on the bed. So I'm like, I know this bitch didn't take my phone. I know she did not take my phone. And she wasn't in the room when I had came back to the room. So I'm looking all around the room trying to figure out where my phone is at. Y'all, this girl, she's so childish. She threw my phone up on top of like the closets that we had in our room. So the closets that we had in our room, they weren't like built into the wall closets that you can just open. They were like tall and long and rectangular closets. Like, I don't really know how to describe it. Like, I don't know, hopefully y'all know what I'm talking about. But I had stood on my bed because something told me, I was like, what if she put my phone up here? So I stood on my bed and I looked up on top of the closet, and sure enough, my phone was right there. I'm like, this hoe is so childish. Like, you really gonna throw my phone up there? So Yeah, anyway, basically they ended up moving me to a different dorm, and I ended up with a whole new roommate. And me and her, we was cool up until like my senior year, but I had to cut her off because she started acting funny. She was on some fake shit, some hating shit, so I had to cut her from the team. She had to go, period. Cause see, I'm the type of person, like, once I notice like any little ounce of like, or once I detect any little bit of fakeness in you, that's it. Like, I gotta cut you from my circle. You gotta go, sis. You have to go. Because the thing about it is, if you acting fake towards me, that means that you really don't wish me well. And if you don't wish me well, that means I can't trust you. So if I can't trust you, why would I have you around me? You feel me? So yeah, honestly, I don't even really talk to anybody that I used to go to college with, honestly. Cause a lot of them were just, I don't know, a lot of the people I went to college with just wasn't, well, I'm not gonna say all of them, but for the most part, like, the people I went to college with just wasn't worthy of me keeping in contact with, or, you know, worthy of a long-lasting friendship, I guess. So yeah, I don't really talk to anybody that I went to college with, child. It is what it is, you know, and I'm fine with that, because, you know, for the most part, I just keep to myself. I be at home chilling. I'll be chilling. Like, every now and then I'll go out when I feel like it, you know, when I'm in the mood to be social, but for the most part, I'll just be at home chilling, y'all. But yeah, guys, that was the end of the story time. Y'all, for real, I think old girl had it out for me. I think she had it out for me since day one, and she was just hating on me for whatever reason. Or I don't know, maybe she just wanted to have the room to herself, so she just concocted a plan up in her head and was like, okay, I'ma just say and do whatever I gotta do to get this girl out the room, so that way I can have the room to myself. I don't know. But that is the end of the story time, guys. Let me know what y'all thought about it in the comments down below, and also let me know if you guys have ever experienced a situation like this. You know, let me know y'all stories and put them down below, because I would love to read them. Because I love me a juicy story. Okay, so yeah, make sure you guys follow me on all of my social medias, Snapchat, Instagram, Twitter, at The Radiant Rebel. It'll be down in the description box. And also, if you guys enjoy my content and y'all want to continue seeing this pretty face, make sure that y'all comment, like, subscribe, do all of that. And thank you guys so much for watching. Until next time. Mwah.